So, much like last time, we're going to do this as another challenge. We have this drill down pie chart where you can click on a thing and go down into further data. I'm going to set a challenge for 45 minutes to add nice transitions to this and also enable drilling back up the data once you go deeper than you want, right? So I'm gonna set a timer here, 45 minutes. Bam, and let's get started. So first thing I'm gonna do, I want to make it so the way I want to make the transitions work is for the pie chart to kind of come out of a, how should I say it, of a single slice. So the pie chart will always start as a line and expand into a full pie chart. So what I can do there is I can make this work at every level, and I can start with a maximum and a minimum and a maximum angle, so that I know where to start the transition and then go from there. And we're going to use the hybrid animation approach that I teach in my React for Data Visualization to make this work. So let's see how we can do that. So what was I doing? All right. So we have this drill down pie here that renders multiple slices. We're going to make it so that instead of just rendering out, it's going to transition. One thing we can do, actually the main thing we can do about that is that D3Py accepts a start and an end angle as its sort of as a setting. So let's see, I can set a start angle at math.py divided by 2, which should be about 180 degrees, and an end angle at math.py divided by 2 plus, let's say, 0.5, and let's see what happens. See, we now have the whole pie chart is contained in a small slice of the circle, and that's kind of the trick we're going to be using to get this working. So if I change that to plus 1.5, we'll see that we get a bigger one. If we say that the full see, it goes to, basically that's the idea. We can manipulate start and end angles to get a nice transition. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to have a what should we say? Oh, we can start with a, let's see, const. Oh yeah, we can go with percentages, go from 0 to 100% displayed, and that will make our code easier. So percent visible and we're going to have set percent visible, and that is going to start at 0. So we start at 0, then we say start angle is percent visible. Actually, start angle is going to start at 0, and then we're going to go percent visible. Whoa, how did I type that? Percent visible times math pi times 2, which is a full radian, or 2 radians. It's 2 radians, which means a full circle. So we've got that. Now we need an effect that changes this stuff. So we're going to say use effect, which is going to do a function, and this effect is going to run on initial load. So yeah, initially on initial, not load, but initial component mount, the effect runs and it starts a D3 transition, which will be easiest. Hi, Candy Cane asks what is do. It literally means two in French, and I thought I wanted to be a little bit fancy. So we're going to start a D3 selection, which is empty, doesn't do anything, and then we start a transition called, let's say, pie reveal. So the pie reveal transition is going to last, let's say, 1 second, and for each tick of the transition we're going to provide a custom tween function, which will give us the ability to have easing functions and all sorts of different things. But most importantly, it's going to parameterize our percent visible transition. So I'll show you what I mean in a little bit. So percent tween, so a custom tween needs to return a function that is a parameterization. So it's a parameterized function based on the t parameter, which basically tells us how far along we are in the transition. So we need to return t that returns a single value for what we want to do. And what we want to do is run set%visible using a, let's say, we can use a D3 interpolator, or should we use a scale? We can use either, actually. We're going to say set%visible is going to be the scale of the current t parameter. Let's use an interpolator. It's going to be a %interpolate of t, and the interpolator is going to be const %interpolate equals d3 interpolate, which starts at 0 and goes to 100. So this should now, in theory, this should just work now. So let's see if it actually does. Nope, doesn't seem to actually work. What did I do wrong? Not sure what I did wrong. Each child needs to have a key. I thought it does, but apparently it doesn't, even though it has a key right here. So D3 selection, let's see if our tween is actually running. Console log high. So we should see a bunch of highs when our tween runs. Come on. My computer is acting funny. This will make it harder to actually test things. Yeah, we're not getting any prints. Console log, yeah, that's a console log here. Where are all of my console logs? So the tween isn't running, which is weird. Is useEffect running? Let's make sure that useEffect runs. Do I actually have useEffect imported? I do. So let's see. Console log got into effect. And yeah, I seem to be struggling with some performance issues, which is annoying because it means I can't click around and actually rely on the problem with performance issues is that I can't trust that what I'm seeing is actually what my computer thinks I'm seeing, which obviously is a problem. Okay, so we got into the effect, but then why didn't the transition start? Let's see, what did I do? Oh, I can hide this, so we don't need that one. What did I do wrong? The tween never runs. Why doesn't the tween run? We are starting the transition, we run the duration, so over 1 second we should get from 0 to 100. Let's set this to %visible. Did you actually play Diablo? Yes, I did actually end up playing Diablo, but I did it yesterday. No, I don't want it to be in the array. Stop complaining, React. So, what is the problem here? What did I do wrong? I'm missing something. Let me... Dude, what are you doing? Why are you so wet? So I think look at him. He took a shower. He must have taken a shower in his football. Kiwi, you're so wet. Hey Fuzzy Buddy, how are you doing? Let me check my other code sandbox where I know I got this working or a similar thing working. So why isn't it working now? So let's see. This one. Hey Architect Dev, how are you doing today? Okay, so code sandbox is loading. I'm probably running too many Chrome windows. Wow, that was slow as shit. Okay, cool. So let's see, hybrid example. What did I do differently? Oh, that's what I did differently. So I was misusing the tween function. Hey Roberto Zaniboni. That's an interesting name. So we're going to tween the %visible, and will it run now? Let's, woohoo! Okay, so now it just displayed, didn't actually quite run the transition. Let's see if it's going to manage it now. So the idea is that we're changing the percentage visible of our thing. And yeah, my computer is being too slow for this to work properly. Yay! You can see it gets confused about how long 1 second is. See, look at it. So it goes a little bit too fast, doesn't it? Let's make it 3 seconds to make it easier, and I'm still not sure why it's complaining that the arc where is the key that it is missing? I don't know. Because we're definitely rendering a key here when we are in a loop, but yeah. So if I click this, the whole thing shows up. Perfect. So now we need to take care of the starting angle. So when you drill down, we want the whole thing to, how should I say, we need it to, I forgot what I was saying. We need the interpolation to start at, actually, so if I click on this, you see it still doesn't quite do it correctly. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to start the effect with set percent visible at 0, and let's see if that makes it better. No, come on, reload. We set it to 0 and it zooms out, and then when I click on something it just jumps, because when we click on something we're not remounting the component, which means we need to, what do we need to do? When render data changes, we need to rerun the effect, right? So let's try that. Okay, reload. We got that worked. Now when I click on it, nope. So I'm trying to figure out how to make sure that the effect reruns when we click into an item. And let's make it so that all of our data has at least 3 items instead of just 1. That will make it, oh, come on, reload. Come on, page, reload. Okay, close this one. Alright, so that works. Now how do we restart the, let's see, what else can I close? I can quit this, I can quit Slack, I can quit IA Writer, I can also quit VS Code. Off-topic question, why Code Sandbox and not Stack Blitz? Primarily because I have never ever in my life heard of Stack Blitz. What is Stack Blitz and what does it do? So yeah, I'm using Code Sandbox because I've heard of CodePen and of Code Sandbox, and of the two, Code Sandbox is a lot better. And I've never heard of Stack Blitz. So what was I doing? Right. We need to figure out how to restart the effect. Let's run a console log running effect. So just to make sure that we know that it's not rerunning when we are clicking an item, even though it should. Come on. Okay, that worked. And now when we click, it did run the effect, but it didn't work. Should we say that this must always run from 0 to 100? Let's see. Okay, let's try that again. So we get the oh, come on, show me the effect. Transpiling modules, okay. Okay, that worked. Yay! So now we get, so I think actually, what's it called? The Code Sandbox is also pretty much VS Code these days. I know it even supports VS Code plugins. You can install plugins into Code Sandbox. Okay, so we are now successfully running the effect every time that our data changes. So when I click this, we go zoop. Perfect. So that all of that works. Now the next step, I think maybe Code Blitz, Stack Blitz versus versus Code Sandbox, what's more popular? Probably just depends on which bubble you're hanging out in. In my bubble, Code Sandbox is more popular, and I've never even heard of Stack Blitz. And in Peter Blazewski's circle, Stack Blitz seems like the market winner, which gives you an interesting insight into how market share works and the wisdom of crowds and all sorts of psychological things that I don't want to get into right now, but they're definitely an interesting direction of study. So we got this. Now we need to make sure that the start angle starts at wherever we want it to start at. So what that means is that basically when I click on a drill down, I want the new data to come out of that slice that I clicked on, which means we need to have a start angle. So we're going to say start angle by default is 0, and we're going to use the start angle from, come on, there we go, start angle from the thing, and end angle is going to be start angle plus the full circle. So we're essentially rotating the entire pie chart, which means that whenever you drill down, the rest of the pie chart is going to be aligned to whatever you're drilling down into. Excuse me. To make that work, when we click on our arc, so here on click, we're going to have to pass in the start angle of our slice. So we're going to say on click is a callback function here, where the on click is going to get arc data dot start angle. Not sure how Code Sandbox is smart enough to figure out that auto completion, but good for Code Sandbox. So the on click button here, let's make a handle click method because it's going to get a little complicated. Hey Ridari, how are you doing today? So function drill down, we're going to say function handle click, which is going to get, it needs to get both an index and, okay, so we can change that. Let's just give it the arc data. So handle click is going to get all of the arc data, and it's going to take that arc data and take out start angle and index, like that, come on, and then it's going to, wow, so handle click, how do we do this? We're going to, the handle click is going to set render data with our render data of index dot children, but it's also going to set start angle with the start angle. So we're going to again use the pattern of copying some props into state, even though we're using hooks and all of the state is pretty much local. We're also getting to the point where it might make sense to create a reducer, but we will get to that. So we're going to say const start angle and set start angle is use state that starts with start angle, right? And this doesn't work because, why doesn't it work? Because we are using a function, we're using a variable after we are, or rather before we're defining it or redefining it. So let's say this is going to be an internal start angle. So we're going to use, come on, I clicked underscore. Okay, let's see if that works. I'm going to reload this just so we can get the effect of drilling down. Come on. Okay. Zoop. Come on. Okay, that worked. Now if I click on this, See, wherever I click, the circle goes, the new thing goes from there. Okay, and I'm gonna, while we're here, I'm just going to move this up a little bit so that it just fits nicer. Actually, no, I don't need to change the height of the SVG. Basically, I'm doing this for the screenshots so that they're closer to the actual title. Okay, so I click on this and it goes from there, click here and it goes from there, click here and it goes from there. Perfect. So that works. Now that we've got that, let's work on the transitions. No, not the transitions. We've got the transitions. Let's work on the colors. So one of the ideas I had to make the colors more consistent is setting them at the data level. Sorry, I'm just really thirsty from running today. So instead of trying to guess data, to guess color, or to calculate colors in our what's it called, in the styled component based on the index and stuff, we're going to make the color itself part of the data, which will make drilling down look more consistent. Right. Let's see, how are we doing on time? We've got 24 minutes left, which is pretty good. I don't know what that was about. That was, it looks like when I get stressed I do gang signals. So generate data. We're going to start with peace sign. Yeah, so that's the thing. I think this is the peace sign, and this, at least in the UK, is basically a curse. Like it's a very impolite thing to show, apparently, in some circles at least. But let's see. Import faker, we have D3 already. Let's do the colors with, let's start the colors with, yeah, look up the V symbol. It's V of victory, but it's also V for something else, for a part of human anatomy. From what I've heard, at least. I'm not from the UK, so I can't confirm. These are just internet rumors that I've heard. Okay, my computer is getting very slow. I can't seem to type anymore. Let's try closing some Chrome tabs. Okay, I can close all of that shit. I want to keep F1 because it doesn't remember where you left off. I can close that, I can close that. I guess I haven't actually looked at this in forever, so I probably never will. And let's keep those for a while more. Okay. So let's see. Why is this no longer syntax highlighted? Let me refresh the page. Maybe that will help. Okay, we're waiting for the reload and for Chrome to get its shit together. In the meantime, I was going to... Oh, right, I can't do anything while this is happening. Let's just open a new tab. That almost always works. Okay, waiting for the tab to actually load. Yeah. Okay, so how much are iMac Pros again? Can I justify getting an iMac Pro for my live coding? Because this is getting ridiculous. What do you guys think? Should I get an iMac Pro just for live coding? Okay, wow. Come on. Like, this is ridiculous. What the hell is going on with Chrome? Am I really gonna have to switch to Brave? Okay, waiting for syntax highlighting to kick in. 1K monitor. So that's the thing with the iMac Pro, you don't need the monitor stand because the computer is the monitor. So you get a, I think a 5 or a 6K monitor that has a computer built in, and it's only $6,000 for the base model, that is. Okay, index.js, I set colors here. So when we are at level 1 or at level 4, we're going to take color is going to be just get the new Mac Mini. I don't Mac, actually that's not a bad idea. I'm i7 and 32 gigs of RAM. That might not be the worst idea, because I already have a 5K monitor, so buying a new monitor together with a computer maybe isn't the best idea. Okay, so color is going to be D3, what did we say, scheme, what was it, scheme paired with I. So they're now all going to have the same color scheme. So that's going to be the color. And for our fill, we're going to use so props get, what do we get? Let's add props.color here. So we're going to say color equals arc data.color, and we pass this into here, props.color. Let's see if that works. So come on, run the animation. Okay, I click here, and now we don't really have consistency, right? But we have better visuals. So the next step is recursing the colors. So we're going to when we generate more data, we say level -1 I and color. So here we get the color, and then if color is defined, if color this is where we're gonna do it. So when we are generating them, what do? We're going to say we're going to generate, yes, that's the perfect approach. So we're going to generate an array of colors. So we're going to say const colors equals, if color doesn't exist, then we use D3 scheme paired. Otherwise, we're going to create a, let's say, D3 range of n, and for each of those n's, we're going to take the color and we're going to brighten it. Should we brighten it by, yeah, let's brighten it by a %. Kiwi, come on. Let's see, how does brighten work again? I had that before here. Let's Command Z to get the, so it's D3 color of the color, and then we brighten it by a actually, should we use Chroma.js for this? Let's use Chroma.js, because Chroma.js is the most beautiful thing in the world for working with colors. Chroma.js, JavaScript library for color conversions, and then we look at the, what's it called, the documentation, because I always forget how to actually use this. JavaScript library for all kinds of color. Come on. Colors, V's for net, Chroma.js. And let me zoom in so you guys can see what it does, how it works. So we're going to take a scale. No, let's just do darken. Or should we do brighten? Brighten 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Similar to darken, but the opposite direction. Okay, so we're going to take, what do we take? Chroma. So import Chroma from Chroma.js, but not from child process. Chroma.js. So we're going to, for each index in our n, in our D3 range of n, we're going to take Chroma of the color, and then we're going to brighten it by n divided by I. right? So that should give us enough steps. What am I missing? I am missing something. Something is wrong with my code. Ah, here. So we're going to take colors of the index, and that should work. So now we should have essentially a progressive color scale where each layer is going to look brighter than the previous layer, but based on the same color. So if we, okay, reload, come on, reload the page. So that works. Now I click into the green, and that didn't work because I forgot to call it here. So we're going to call it with colors of I for when we recurse in, so that each next layer of colors starts at the same. Come on, computer, work. So now my mouse isn't even changing into the correct yeah, time to really think about buying a computer for these things, because apparently laptops don't quite work. Hi, Bert. Okay, I'm still waiting for this to actually work. What is so taxing on my system right now? And why is backup D right now using 100% of my processing power? That is just ridiculous. Okay, so everything below that should be red but is not red. Why not? Let's, at each level, let's console log the color if I can actually get my computer to work. Console log level and color. Let's see. So undefined blah. Aha, so that's the problem. We need to change it to a string. No. Wow. So I think Code Sandbox just crashed. This is ridiculous. Okay, let's see. What is using so much processing power? Google Chrome helper. Which one is this? You go away. Oh, nope. That was that tab. What about this one? Interesting. So apparently Code Sandbox can use up to like 100% of your CPU, and that causes problems. Okay, so I'm waiting for Code Sandbox to recover so I can continue, even though we only have 11 minutes left in the challenge, which is quite unfortunate because I would like to finish this today. And what's really weird is that it's getting progressively worse, even though there's no reason for it to get progressively worse. It should just stay the same. I'm waiting. There's not much I can do about this, unfortunately. Come on. Okay. So let's open the drilldown.py as well, like the drilldown.py file. Come on, I'm opening the file. I double clicked on it 5 times already, and it did something completely different. Why are you opening package.json? This is ridiculous. Bless you, Kiwi. Okay, so can I close this now? Perfect. Oh, it's still not good enough to do syntax highlighting, but where was I? Index.js, the color. Why is it console logging 3000 things? For the love of fuck, why are you doing this, computer? I don't need 3000 console logs right now. Okay, so somehow, somewhere I caused an infinite recursion, apparently. What is going on? I'm trying to open the DevTools so I can see maybe any JavaScript errors or something. No, nothing here. Aha. Access to fetch, common sandbox. I don't know what this is printing and why is it printing so much of it. Okay. So there's definitely nothing here that should be causing a but why is color becoming a constructor? Okay, I'm trying to delete the console logs. Please let me delete the console logs, computer. Hi, Bert. Come on. Ah. Okay, so this has become completely unresponsive. Whatever I click, nothing happens. Is my stream even still up? So I seem to be moving at least. Although it also looks like I might be hiding some of the code, which is not great. But let's make me smaller. Okay, so I'm a little smaller. Can I click on things now? Nope, not yet. So that's a unfortunate setback. It looks like my computer is dead. What if I quit Chrome? Maybe that will help. Do you think that will help? Let's try. I don't want to quit Chrome. Quitting Chrome is a surprisingly big chore. Oh yay, I can click things now. Okay, so Chroma.js, how do I get you to give me Chroma.js, how do I get you to give me URLs? Not URLs, I mean, what was I gonna say? I wanna get strings, not constructors. So how do I do that? Colors, Chroma, color scales, changelog, Chroma, HSL, string. How do I get the string out? Dot hex. So let's try dot hex then. Dot hex. Type that thing in, and then let's print out the colors at each level. That might help. Might be useful debugging information. Console log colors. Let's see. Yay, that did help. So now at each level we are only dealing with, but the problem is that almost everything becomes white very quickly. Okay, delete that console log. Now how do we make sure things don't become white so fast? Okay, come on, click, click, I'm trying to click. God damn it, computer, please just work for once. Maybe I should start meditating. You know, have you ever heard of that test where to find the true character of a person, give them an internet connection but make it unreliable, like slow Wi-Fi, and that will reveal the true character of the person. So that's what you're seeing here right now. I'm this close to just throwing my computer out the window because this is ridiculous. Like I once more can't click on anything. Yeah, so see, like my Chrome isn't even responding anymore. Even if I try to close the tab, nothing happens. Or if I try to open a new one. Yes, we recovered 1 unsaved files. Maybe if you didn't crash, you wouldn't have to recover unsaved files. So let's see. What if we... So if we divide n by index, we get to white colors very quickly because when you brighten something, you're making it, you know, very... What if we multiply that by 0.5? Like that. Maybe that will give us more color ranges to go through. Hi, Bert. Because otherwise it's you get to white colors basically extremely fast. So I'm trying to make the differences in shade smaller so we don't get to white as fast. Now let's see if this manages to show up. Yay! And if I click on pink, why does it turn blue? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, so green, that didn't work. So why is color so hard? What if we just say times 0.2, index times 0.2 for the brightening, and that might work better. And I'm not actually even sure that that's where the problem is. Okay, so click green. Okay, that's better. I'm just not sure how this works. What if we try darkening? Maybe that will look more intuitive. So if we darken from green, and my computer is stuck again. Yay. Okay. Reload the page. Wait for the pie chart to show up. And then click on a thing. And that darkening looks really weird, but okay. Fine, sure. Okay, so we've got that kind of working. Now let's look at... No, that's the wrong button to click. Now let's look at making drilling up work. So we want to be able to click on the center to drill back up the hierarchy. So we're going to go into drill down pi and add a circle that is right at the center of everything. So circle cx equals 0, cy equals 0, and we say the radius is... What is our smallest internal angle? Let's see. Radius, inner radius 15. So if we say the radius is 15, we should get a circle in the middle. I'm not sure that we did. Let's make it fill equals black so we can at least see it. Oh, the problem is that Code Sandbox isn't reloading. Let's press reload. Great. So there's the circle then. And now we gotta make this circle clickable. So on click, we're going to call this drill up. Let's call it drill up. So drill up is going to do... Hi, Kiwi. let's see, what is drill up going to do? Function drill handle click, yeah, handle click drill up is going to get the, actually the drill up doesn't have to do anything. So we don't know our previous data, do we? So let's try set previous data is going to be, we're going to have a list of previous data, because otherwise it's not going to work. So think of this as a stack. We're essentially, okay, so we're out of time, but I'm going to keep going and let's see where we get. So think of this as a data stack. So const, or let's just call it a stack, and we're going to say set stack, and this is going to start as useState with an empty array. So drill up is then going to, when we drill down, we're going to say set stack is, okay, unknown server error, don't care. So when we're drilling down, we gotta add the previous state to the stack. So hi Kiwi, yes, hi, you're cute, you're very cute, you're adorable, Kiwi, you're such an adorb. Okay, set stack, and that set stack is going to be the previous stack plus render data, so the current render data. When we're drilling up, we take the stack, so we say const previous data equals stack.pop, and then we set stack with just the new stack, which has a popped off last entry, and we say set render data is previous data. So let's see if that works. Okay, that showed up. Now I'm gonna, so we gotta remember what it looks like. Actually, maybe if I take a picture, no. So we drill down, and now if we drill back, we went back to the previous data, yay! So we can go down, 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 and voila. So that worked. We now have drilling back up. And let's call this handle drill down. Or should we say handle click? Let's call it drill down. It's going to be better. Drill down. And then here this is going to be called drill down. And this guy, instead of fill black, is going to be white. And let's say we should totally give it a cursor, shouldn't we? Or should we keep it black? Black was pretty cool, actually. Let's keep it black. Alright, so we got the black. The thing shows up around it, and when we click in, we can go in, and then we can go back out. Perfect. Now let's make sure that we can't go back out too much. If stack.length is bigger than 0, then we do these things, otherwise we don't do anything. Okay, so now we can click on a, when they show up, click on a slice, click again, and then click up, and then we can't make it error out. Cool. So that worked. Now let's see about using a reducer for this, should we? Let's try it. So we're going to say function use, what should we call it? Function use, let's say use data. That makes sense. Or drill down data. Use drill down data. Use tree data. Use drillable data. Use drillable data. Use drillable data is a function that gets data. So it's going to get data, and then it's going to use reducer, which is going to get an action. And does it get state and action, or action and state? Use reducer So we're now just cleaning up, but everything works already. Use reducer, let's see. State and dispatch, reducer, initial argument. The reducer takes state and an action. Okay, so state and action, and we say that switch action dot type. If we are case drill down, then we return, what do we return? We're going to return render data, which is going to be state.render data of action.index, right? Basically the same that we're doing here, dot children, and the stack is going to be state.stack with the current state.render data pushed on top. If we are drilling up, case drill up, then we say, in the case of drill up, we pop, okay, so we return, what do we return? The stack needs to be, okay, let's do it this way. Const prev data becomes state.stack.pop, and then the stack becomes state.stack. That's a mutation that we're doing, so let's not do that. So the stack becomes state.stack.slice 0 to -1, which I think it works. Let me verify. So if we say 1, 2, 3, 4, slice from 0 to -1, we get 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So that's how we drop the last element from the stack. And we change the render data. So render data is going to be state.stack. So yeah, state.stack. What if we say just slice -1? Does that work? Let's see if that works actually. So 1, 2, 3, 4 dot slice -1. Yes. So slice -1, 0. That's what's gonna work. Okay. So render data becomes stack slice -1 of and the 0th part of that array. And by default, we just return state, right? Because that's gonna be easiest. Unexpected token. What are you complaining about? Function use drillable data use. Oh, I didn't finish the useReducer. So useReducer is going to start with the initial state, and the initial state is going to be let's just call it initial state, and we don't need the init function, but the initial state is going to be const, come on, I'm typing, stop doing weird things, computer. Const, where am I? Const initial state equals render data as data and stack as an empty stack. Why is this red? This does not need to be red. And we are going, our thing is going to return, so useReducer gives us what? State and dispatch. So let's just return that. So we're going to return the reducer, and now here we're going to say, come on, const of stack and render data. Do we need that? No, we just need render data actually from the state, don't we? So render data and dispatch is going to be use drillable data of our data. So then we don't need this anymore, and we don't need the %visible. And again here we can just dispatch. So drill down is going to dispatch. What's drilling down going to dispatch? It's going to say that the type of action is drill down, and the index is the index, and then drill up. Come on, drill up is going to dispatch type drill up, and I don't think it needs to do anything else, but the reducer needs to here check if state.stack.length is bigger than 0, then we return the change state. Otherwise, we just return the state. Save. Okay. So when we're drilling up, we got to make sure that we're checking the state so that we're not drilling up too far and falling for an error. So now let's see if I click. That works. That works. That works too. And I can drill back up. No, I can't drill back up. Why can't I drill back up? Aha, because there is a space here. Okay, so that was a typo that made it so that our reducer didn't recognize the action. So now when I click here, we go down, down, up, up, down, down, up, up, and we can't go too far up. So that works, which is great. So the only thing left is, can we move the start angle into our reducer? Because that would be pretty cool. We can actually remove it from here because it's not doing anything. And we can take render data and start angle. So use state start angle, we can take that out. And we're going to say start angle, start angle. And when we drill down, we're also going to add a start angle to our state thingy. So now, come on, scroll up some more. Okay, so our reducer at the beginning, the start angle is going to be 0. Okay, it typed it out, even though that took a long time. And when we are drilling down, we're going to change the start angle to be 0. Right? No? Come on, I'm trying to type, computer. Start angle is action.start angle. Now let's see if that works. This is going to appear all of a sudden because the computer is slow. And that's one of the nice things about using D3 transitions for this kind of stuff, is that it just works. Like when your computer is slow or whatever, it always manages to figure it out and just jump ahead if it needs to. And now drilling up doesn't work anymore. Why doesn't drilling up work? Ah, so no, okay, now let's see, why is drilling up not working? Drill up, click. Oh, that's why. Because we're not preserving the start angle. So start angle is going to be state.start angle. So that's what I did wrong. I'm always rewriting the entire state instead of overwriting only parts of it. Okay, click, click, and then go back up, go back up. Perfect. So that works. Awesome. What is another thing that we can do? There's one more idea I had that would make this look better, but I can't remember it right now. Can anyone read my mind? What was I going to add? I'm also not sure why these colors aren't... Did the colors just change? So if I go down, like... Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with the colors. Oh, I know what I was gonna add. Check this out. I can add a easing function. Ease, let's say d3 ease bounce in, and you'll see a really cool effect as soon as Code Sandbox manages to figure shit out. So because we're using D3 transitions, we automatically get all of the benefits of using D3 transitions. One of which is using well, apparently that doesn't work very well. Wow, I wonder why the cubic, let's try D3 ease cubic in out. That is strange. That usually works much better. So it's supposed to like accelerate and then slowly show up, but my computer's being weird, I think, because that has definitely worked in the past. Okay, that works. So you see how it accelerates and then decelerates instead of being linear. Let's see what else can we try. Ease. What if we just say ease bounce in out? Let's see if that works. Maybe it's just the bouncy one that doesn't quite work with what we're trying to do. Yeah, it gets kind of confused, doesn't it? Okay, let's go with, what about ease circle out, cubic in out, elastic, exponential, linear, poly, quad, sine. Ooh, let's try sine in out. So I'm waiting for something to happen. Well, it definitely feels different, right? Yeah. Okay, let's go with that one. So that's what I was gonna do today. I'm still not sure why the colors don't look nice. There's something weird about darkening and brightening colors that doesn't seem to work very well. Let's see, what about lighten? Does lighten exist? Nope, there is only brighten. Brighten by a little bit every color. Let's see. So when I click on red, we should get only red colors, right? Let's try that again. I want to get red because I like red. So if I click on red, why are they all green? Quite strange. What if I click on green? So that worked. And red, like, why does red brighten into green? That's weird. And why does orange brighten into more red? I'm definitely doing something weird here that I'm not quite understanding. So I get the color from the index. I generate an array of colors, or take it from the D3 palette, pass it in, generate colors, blah, and then in the drill down py, I get the data with the index and the start angle, all of that stuff, and each of the data sets is supposed to, yeah, I don't know, it's weird. Alright, I'm gonna stop live coding now. We got the main thing that I was gonna work on working, and yeah, I will see you all again some other day, probably tomorrow. Not sure yet what I'm gonna be live coding tomorrow evening, but I'm gonna try to be here, and I'm gonna write about this as probably a blog post and an email, So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I will see you again next time.